Ohio. Hey, welcome to the catch up. This is Napiera Groves Boykin, and you're on the catch up. And guess what? OH, mother effing O. Yes. OHIO, go Bucks. You are our first college football playoff champions. It is your 1,000th in the history of college football. I think something like your 10th college championship. But Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State, obviously the state where I'm from. Super excited. Congratulations to the whole squad. Congratulations to Coach Day. Congratulations to the athletic director. You did what you had to do. You spent the money. And people said, after the Michigan game, Ohio was done. The program was done. Coach Day was done. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the Ohio State-Michigan game, I grew up watching my entire life. It is a huge rivalry, probably one of the biggest college rivalries in all of America. However, there is the SEC. However, in Big Ten land, it is huge, major. We all get that. But if you lose that rivalry, you still can be a national champion. You still can be a national champion. And that is what Ohio State did. They lost to Michigan earlier this year. They got death threats. Coach Day was being called to be fired. The program was over. It was done. But then the playoffs happened. And they beat everybody. They beat Texas. They beat Oregon. They beat Texas. They beat Oregon before they beat Texas. And then they went on to beat Notre Dame, who I think, Coach Marcus Freeman has done an amazing job getting that program together in just the 3 years he's been there. But honey, them boys in the gray, red, and white came to let y'all know that they are championship material. And it doesn't matter what happened with Michigan. That is a rivalry of two states. That does not make you a national champion. Because clearly Michigan is not holding up the championship trophy. Ohio State is. Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. Columbus was off the chain. My best friend went to Ohio State. In high school, thought we were something when we would go up to Ohio State games and go to the parties afterwards, from Cincinnati going up to Columbus. Go Ohio State. OHIO, so excited. Just was thrilled. Speaking of Ohio, guess who was in the stands at the college football national championship? Guess who was there? LeBron. Yes, he was. LeBron was there. And LeBron was okay, funny story. I got to tell this little story. People always ask me, why are you such a LeBron fan? Why are you such a LeBron fan? So, funny story. When I was in college, and my best friend, no, actually we weren't in college. Yeah, we were in college. Yeah, because I can't remember if we had graduated or not, but I know I went to Columbus to see my best friend, and she went to Ohio State, and we're walking around campus, and we're seeing this buzz happening, and we kind of go by Horseshoe Stadium, and we're going around, and we're seeing all of this buzz happen, and I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, are these the new recruits? Because we could see on the field that there was a lot of buzz happening, pictures, photography, paparazzi. They're all around these young kids. And they're like, oh yeah, no, Ohio State's doing this, some of the top players in the state come down to play or whatever. And I'm like, really? Oh, cool. And they were like, yeah, this one guy was like, see that dude over there? See the big dude over there that all the cameras are around? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, that kid is like in the 10th grade. That's LeBron James. He out of Akron. He like in the 10th grade. And that dude is going to be a monster football player. A monster football player. Ohio State wants him bad. And I was like, wow, cool. All right. He's like, yeah, but that's not why the cameras are around. I'm like, why? He's like, that dude is the top #1 basketball player also in the country. And I remember going, wow, that's pretty cool. And I was hearing like little remarks of grown men talking. While this dude was talking to me, I'm hearing grown men make little remarks about basically this kid that's on the field getting so much attention, blah, blah, blah. And that was LeBron James, who at the time could have either been a great football player or the great basketball player he chose to be. And I followed his career ever since that day. I have watched, I have defended, I have argued, and been very, very proud of this person that I consider my favorite player of all time. And I tell many people my favorite player is better than yours. But I'm proud of it because I've literally seen this person, this child, grow into a monster of a man, of a human, and a great player, and do things his way. So that is kind of why I am a LeBron fan. I am also an only child. He's an only child. And when you grow up in Ohio, poor, as an only child, there are certain things, and black, there are certain things you're going to have in common. So anyway, that is my little very small, minimal connection to LeBron. And speaking of which, he was there at the game, like I said before. But let's talk about him today. LeBron James at 40 years old. LeBron James is breaking triple-double records. He's breaking triple-double records. What? It's crazy. He passes Pippen in steals. He moved into the 7th place of NBA all-time steals list. Did that Tuesday night. What you are seeing is to not be taken for granted. What you are seeing, I don't care who your favorite player is, really, at this point, because the numbers ain't gonna lie at the end. But what you're able to see, if you are an NBA fan, is unparalleled. It is unprecedented. And just be happy you're getting to see it. That's all I'm going to say. He's 40. And I've been seeing him impress people since he was in the 10th grade. Yo. All right. That being said, I want to talk about the playoff picture. NFL playoff picture. Whoa. First of all, can we go back and talk about those games? Listen, I was a little sick last week. I can't even remember what my picks were. I'm pretty sure I was a little off. I might have gotten some right. But y'all, those games over the weekend. Who do you want to talk about first? Who are we talking about first? Are we going to talk about how, what happened to the Lions? What happened? Jaden Daniels happened. Jaden Daniels happened. I told y'all he was a problem. I told y'all he's a problem. Jaden Daniels happened. And I know that because Jaden Daniels happened to me and my team. Monday Night Football. It's like our first episode is what we were talking about. Our first episode of the show is what we were talking about. Jaden Daniels happening he happened. And he's been happening all season. And now he's going to the NFC Championship. He's going to the NFC Championship as a rookie. Just took his team to the NFC Championship. Joe Burrow, my quarterback, took the Bengals his third year in the league to the Super Bowl. And that was crazy at the time. That was just 3 years ago. He was Jane Daniels' predecessor. Jane Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback at LSU after Joe Burrow, my quarterback, just drove his team to the NFC National Championship game. And he has a good chance of winning. And he might be taking his team to the Super Bowl. I don't know what they're doing in LSU. I don't know what y'all doing down at LSU. But you are molding amazing athletes and leaders. I don't ever want to really step foot in the state of Louisiana for a plethora of reasons. But Louisiana State University, you all create some phenomenally impressive athletes, not just the quarterbacks, because I'm looking at Justin Jefferson, I'm looking at Jamar Chase, my guy. These guys are impressive. And there's just no way around it. Okay, so that Lions game. Lions Commanders. The Lions kind of were shooting themselves in the foot a lot. Jared Goff looked off. I actually think he probably was slightly concussed after that hit early on. Obviously, nobody's going to talk about that, but he was just off. I had a bad feeling going in, but yeah, I mean, the better team in that game won. That's just the end of it. The better team won in that game. And that's the really cool thing and the really scary, awful thing about NFL playoffs. It's one and done. One game, and you go home. If you lose, you go home. So, and then you had the Rams-Philly game, which quite honestly, I mean, that thing just looked cold. It was cold. It was icy. It was all the things. And yes, LA had a lot to be playing for. And they made this city so proud with their first playoff win. And, but they were out of their league. I mean, they were. They weren't supposed to go there. They weren't even supposed to make the playoffs. So, good run. But people are like, oh, we really thought LA, did you? Did you really think LA was going to win that game? I don't think I did. Pretty sure I didn't. But I'm proud of them. But those guys, they want to go to Cabo. They were ready to go to Cabo. I get it. After a while, you could see. They were like, it's cold. It looked cold. Only person that was really used to that cold was Matthew Stafford, having been in Detroit for 12 years. Matthew Stafford. And he looked like he had been over the cold enough before he came to that game. He did his thing. He tried. But after a while, he was ducking before they even hit him. He's like, nah, I don't want to hit the ice hard. I'm going to sit this one out. And you know what? I get it. That team plays about 65% of their games warm. They're in the West. They're in the West Division. A couple of their rivals are domed. I mean, they're like, no, we're good. And I get it. And in the end, it all made sense. On the other hand, Philly did not look good. Philly did not look good. Jalen Hurts is hurt. He's hurt. They are going to have a problem with the Washington Commanders. Jalen Hurts cannot move. His ankle is jacked. He still look a little concussed. I don't know. Yeah. Saquon Barkley is the horse that's riding him into the Super Bowl if they go. But, geez, you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot. Nick Sirianni, game management, I don't know what's going on. Philly does not look good. I want Philly to look better. I wanted them to look better, and they did not look great. That being said, if Jalen could get his play up, I mean, they couldn't even do the tush push at one point because homeboy's legs, I mean, like, who's they backup? Somebody said Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is their backup. Kenny Pickett is hurt with a rib injury. Kenny Pickett? I didn't know Kenny Pickett was their backup. Are y'all sure? Kenny Pickett? Why? Why is Kenny Pickett Jalen Hurts backup? Y'all couldn't get nobody better? Nobody better? Kenny Pickett. Russell Wilson is walking around with Justin Fields as his backup in Pittsburgh. And Jalen Hurts took Pittsburgh's old quarterback. Y'all gave him Jalen Hurts backup. All right, well. So basically, they don't have a backup. And, you know, like everybody else, they can't just go out and get Flacco, because that's usually the person everybody try to go get at the end of the season when they need a backup. Okay, they can't go get Flacco. So this boy don't have no dang on backup. And that's fine. They better watch out, because Jaden Daniels is coming. He's coming. He's coming up I-95 from D.C., and he's coming with his boys. And unless Saquon Barkley puts like 4 touchdowns on them, he's going to go to the Super Bowl as a rookie. And either way, I win. Either way. Because I like both of those quarterbacks. But we'll see. All right, moving on to the AFC. Hey, so, big surprise. Kansas City Chiefs are going to the AFC Championship. Do we have to talk about that game? I mean, the refs, I don't want to keep complaining about the refs. But the refs was making up stuff to hand to the Texans. Just making up penalties. I was just glad it wasn't my team. I would not be here right now. I would have had a heart attack. Because they was just making up stuff. And that usually happens to my squad against KC. But this time, I mean, they do it to everybody. So they did it to the Texans. And this is where we are. KC. I ain't gonna lie to wait. There was this one, that throw that Patrick Mahomes did, because he's a bad man. When he was falling, and he threw that joint to Kelsey, everybody's focused on that throw. And that throw, yeah, was incredible. But guess what? Jared Goff had pretty much a similar throw in the Detroit game. And his boy caught it with like one hand, fell down, held on to it. It was dope. Almost the exact same pass, though, as he's falling down, aimed it straight through the end zone. The coldest thing about the Mahomes throw as he's falling down to the ground to Kelsey is Kelsey, he lasered it, and Kelsey caught it standing straight up like he just went, stood up and stood over dude and like stepped over him and just looked at him. That was the coldest catch I've seen in a long time. It was just nasty and dirty for no reason. It was easy. It was like, I do this for a living very, very easily. I am Travis Kelce. It's kind of what it seemed like, he said. I'm Travis Kelce. It was good. It was cool. It was cool. I ain't gonna lie. Not a Casey fan, obviously, but, greatness recognized greatness. It was dope. The game that we all thought was going to be amazing came out at the end trying to be something, but that Bills-Ravens game, that first half was Lamar doing what Lamar does. Lamar cannot win MVP, and I said this in our last podcast. He cannot win MVP because you cannot do what you just did. And he did a little bit of that through a lot of games in the season, throughout the season. He gets nervous. I think his nerves kind of get the best of him. And then they're playing catch up. And depending on the team that you're playing, you can play catch up and maybe win. You can't do that in the divisional round of the AFC playoffs. You can't do that with the Buffalo Bills. You throwing interceptions, fumbling, you fumble the ball, it's your leadership. They can feel your nerves. It's your leadership. And then you walking around with the sock on your head and can't nobody understand what you're saying. What? Boy, no. I don't think he's going to win MVP this year. And that's okay. He's got 2. It's fine. That team did not look great. But the Ravens, we're in that division. We went toe-to-toe with them. We went into overtime with them. We should have beat them. They were always very beatable. They're not KC. And obviously this year they are not Buffalo. Josh Allen was him. His leadership was him. And at the end of the day, people are going to talk about, obviously, the Mark Andrews drop with the 2-point conversion to tie it. That was not to win it. It's to tie it. Okay. So he dropped it. It's not his fault. Not his fault. There was a lot of bad plays, coaching, nervousness, and trying to catch up from behind. And I think that starts with Lamar. So there will be no Ravens AFC championship game. It will be Buffalo. It will be KC. It will be a shootout. Buffalo has already beat them once this season. The only team except for that stupid Denver game that they were just being petty with. Anyway, legitimately, Buffalo's the only team that's really beat them this year. And even that game was close down to the wire. It's going to be down to the wire again. But I think Buffalo can do it. And if I'm going with my predictions, I'm still taking KC. And I think the Commanders are going to beat Philly. I can't see it. I can't see it. So my predictions are, I would like to see Buffalo win. I think Buffalo can win. I just can't go against Kansas City right now. They're healthy. They seem ready to rock. I said at the beginning of this season, I don't think anybody's going to threaten their three-peat. I'm holding to it as of this week. Prove me wrong, Buffalo. Prove me wrong. But right now, I'm going to call KC and Washington Commanders because I want all my friends in D.C. to win. I want to win for them. All right, y'all. That being said, let's have a safe, beautiful week. Do your thing, root for your team, but also root for your brothers and sisters in your community. And let's give it a go. Go, go, go. All right, thanks for catching up with me, y'all. We'll see you next week on the catch up.